Hi, my name is Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to review a micro venture capital database case study for a USA-based client, and this is a updated database for 2024. Bit of information about myself. I'm a fundraising strategist with 15 years of experience in high-end real estate sales and marketing, spanning Canada, Dubai, and the Caribbean. Over the last 2 years on Fiverr, I've assisted over 200 clients with startup fundraising, pitch deck refinement, investor outreach strategies, and custom investor databases. In addition, I'm an advisor to a New York-based investment company affiliated with a $60 billion fund. The fund focuses on various sectors, particularly income-producing real estate, with capital requirements for projects typically ranging from $10 to $20 million. These projects are selected based on their cash flow and growth potential. You can get more information about the services that I provide on Fiverr by clicking the link below. So this video highlights a comprehensive database of micro venture capital investors I recently created for a USA-based client. So to start off with, what is the difference between venture capital and micro venture capital? Well, the main differences are fund size and investment. Venture capital are usually larger funds. They often invest millions, focuses on later stages. Where micro venture capitals start off, they're smaller funds. They look at seed investments and often less than 500,000. In fact, most of them are going to be sitting around the $100,000 to $250,000 range. Now, the strategy and portfolio. Well, for venture capital, there's a rigorous due diligence process and invest in fewer startups with clear growth paths. And you're going to see that in previous videos of mine, there are very targeted segments that venture capital groups look at. And sometimes it's hard to get them to think outside that box to say. But micro venture capital is different. They're very diversified, they're risk tolerant, and they make bets on newer startups. And the reason being is because of the amounts that they tend to loan out. Anywhere from sometimes 25,000 to 100,000 is a sweet spot for many venture capital groups. And thirdly, the involvement and support. Of venture capital, they're actively involved, often take board seats, provide strategic direction, and that can be, quite a load for somebody that's just starting off with a smaller startup. Maybe it's tech related, and maybe they're only looking for $50,000, $75,000, and to have somebody or a group actively involved, it just is too much for them in the beginning. So that's why usually the first round of financing and that startups will look for usually is going to come from either angel investors or a micro VC. Keep in mind one thing, that micro VCs are loaded with angel investors, but they're just wrapped up in a company format. So again, micro VC, less direct daily involvement, offers mentorship and introduction. So they're really good spots to start to look for your first tranche of funding. So what is this client looking for? This client was looking to raise $85,000, and they're, just to be confidential, it's in the tech sector, a very modern part of the tech sector. And they're based in the USA. And the database source is purely micro venture capital. And the number of contacts, they're really looking at around 500. Now this is 500 to start with, their initial rounding down to a point where they get down to about 50 or 75. And they're taking my advice of starting up their outreach well before they need the capital. And this is something that really should be known when you're starting to look in 2024. You should start to think about, okay, if you're going to do fundraising in 2025, the best time to start is in 2024, and that's by doing your outreach. And you're going to see a lot of videos that I have mainly for the US. You can see how I actually guide people through the process of how they should start to do their outreach. So you might want to watch a couple of those videos. So again, the number of contacts I really want to end up with is about 500, but they're global. Even though they're based in USA, their tech travels is a good statement to use. How do I find these contacts? I have a master database of over 400,000 contacts. New contacts have recently been just added as of late 2023. So as we sit here in the beginning of 2024, this includes venture capital, private equity, angel investors, family investment offices, hedge funds, and I do have some private high net worth and ultra high net worth investor databases, but those are purely for specialized clients. So what did the final database include? So I was able to find 800 contacts in my database that suit this particular case. That's with 800 emails, and those emails that were just cleaned at the very end of 2023. Has 640 LinkedIn addresses attributed to the companies, not to individual contacts. And of course it has 800 websites that are part of the database. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the spreadsheet part, and this is what you would get if you ordered this database from me via Fiverr. And just to start off with, you can see as I scroll down to the bottom here, we're going to end up with about 813 contacts. So you get the firm name, the location. This is mostly USA, Canada, UK, and Europe. That just happens to be where most of the micro VCs are. There's a bit of Asia in there, a bit of South America, but for the most part you are looking at those major areas. The type, all micro venture capital. In other words, on their profiles they have listed themselves as a micro venture capital. All the websites, 640 LinkedIns. You're getting all the emails. Now these emails are going to be corporate emails, so info at, hello at, admin at, pitch at, business plans at, so on and so on. But you can definitely go to their website and usually find contacts. Now, if you look at previous database videos I've made, and again I'm referring to the USA ones that I recently, I think there's about 35 of them. Just click on to one of them. They're long videos. They're about 20 minutes long in some cases. But they're going to teach you how to actually do outreach, and I'm going to cover off a little bit more of that in 2024. But the strategy is that you should not be sending your pitch deck to these people on the very first meeting or the first outreach. There's a strategy, and again I'm going to touch on it a bit more because it needs a lot more information for people who are doing their first time fundraising. You actually want to build a relationship with them first and then start to do your pitch later. There's lots of information I can give you on that. Again, sectors, a lot of fintech, a lot of tech, a lot of AI. Definitely AI is going to be very big. Now AI typically tends to be more venture capital related rather than micro venture capital, just due to the amount that is needed to launch these. A lot of e-commerce, a lot of mobile apps, a lot of internet, a lot of SaaS. So there's a lot of opportunities for you there if you're in those areas. And every single one of these contacts is going to have a description. For example, Alpine Meridian is a New York-based early-stage venture firm focused on the internet, digital media, fintech, data software, and commerce. Now, one of the things that you will note, and I mentioned it in the video, is that typically the micro venture capital groups are willing to look at a wide range of sectors. So don't worry if your startup is what you would call in a very narrow sector. Don't let that bother you. These are the type of firms that are also full of founders and CEOs and senior people who are angel investors. Remember that angel investors are usually hiding in the weeds, and you shouldn't. The best way I actually like to tell founders, if you're looking to contact an angel investor, head for the pre-seed and the micro venture capital firms. They're full of them. So that's just a bit of a tip. So that's the database that I was able to source for the USA-based client. And again, these were all cleaned and validated. I use millionverifier.com. That's millionverifier.com. And they were actually cleaned on December 30th of 2023. So they're going to be really helpful for you if you're fundraising in 2024. For more information on my databases and fundraising services, click my Fiverr link below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.